It's another United Kingdom talk.
From the Mirrorball studio in Royal Berkshire, this is Chris Reardon.
Here I am, back from my long visit to my sisters, but no time to tell you about this today because, look, now, as you know, of listening to the last show, I did record a few shows ahead to cover the period when I was at my sisters, and all these emails have now gathered. So we must do these today. What I should tell you all about my sisters either in the next show or the show after. But I will have to tell you that I had a little surprise birthday present. I've got it here next to me. And this is got to be one of the best birthday, well, the best birthday present my sister has ever bought me. My sister and her husband, that is, of course. This is a flip cam. Okay, I'm holding a flip cam. Now, it's kind of an Instamatic video recorder. And basically point and shoot. You know, there's just one button on the back there. Little record button on the back there. And you turn the thing on, which I shall do now, and it makes a little noise. Listen, little noise. Do you like it? Blip, blip. It's good at that. And you can film things, and yeah, you can see a little picture of me filming myself. It's a tiny little gadget. As I say, it's called a flip cam. Apparently not available yet in the UK. My brother-in-law ordered this on eBay, and it came through the post. Unfortunately, it was one of those parcels picked up by customs as it came through. So, I mean, you're supposed to pay money. Anything you buy from outside the EU, you have to pay money on as it comes in the country. That's the legality of it. Now, now and again, they pick up parcels before they actually get to the recipient at the other end here in the UK, and the customs will pick them up, have a look at them and say, hello, you owe us this amount. So unfortunately my sister was picked, so she had to pay an extra, I think, 25 or 30 pounds, something like that, VAT that she had to pay. But nevertheless, what a fantastic little gadget this is. I don't know what else to say about it, really. I got this as I visited my sisters. As soon as I got there, she gave me this, and immediately I took to it, and it's so easy to use. It really is so easy, and I'm blown away by the picture quality. So, of course, while I was up there, my nephew Jimmy and I went out and went around making little videos of everything, and I will put all those together at some point and tag them onto the end of one of the YouTube versions of this show. Hopefully the next one, or maybe the one after I put everything together, okay? So those of you watching on YouTube will be able to see. Sound-wise, I'm not going to include the sound in that because it's quite visual. And when you're doing sort of a radio show and using video at the time, the two have to kind of match up. You know, there's no point in me saying, oh, have a look at this, and not describing it to people, because they won't have a clue what's... you know, I could be holding anything in front of you. That's the worry. I mean, you don't know what it is that I'm waving around in front of this camera at the moment, do you? It could be anything. That's a terrible worry. And it may, if you're listening on radio, it may even put you off ever having a look at the video in the first place. What is Chris Reardon waving about in front of his camera today? So I'm not going to put. I won't put the audio on the radio side of things, as it's a little bit visual. And but if you do get the chance to see the YouTube one. Excuse me, if you do get a chance to see it on tagged onto one of the end of the YouTube videos, please watch it, because it's got my little nephew, and what I do is I get him to do a little bit of reporting up and down the shops where my sister lives in Woodhall Spa, so I'll let you know when that's going to be on, okay? So we're going to go straight into the emails today, because I have gathered quite a few here, going back about 3 weeks now, so we must do these. Right. First of all, hello to Tony. Yes, it's the Nighthawk. I like his email. It finishes 1966. And I always think that's a bit of a worry, putting the date after your name, because it reveals your age to everyone. I mean, how are we supposed to pick up these younger people if we put our ages on there? I jest. Do you know what someone said to me last night? Because I was doing karaoke and disco in a steam coach. on Friday night. Someone said to me last night, I said, "I'll go and send someone over here to chat me up." I said, someone about 30, 32. And he says, "Well, that makes you a bit of a cradle snatcher, doesn't it?" I said, 32? He said, "How old are you?" And I thought about it and I thought, you're right. Oh, well, what can you do? And Tony writes, because... Oh, here we go. I've only just started and I'm coughing up, aren't I? Here we go. Tony writes, because we were talking about computers a couple of weeks ago, and I was asking him if he goes and buys much DIY... if he goes and buys much electronic stuff and computers and all that sort of thing. And he writes, "Hi, Chris. I only wish I had the money to buy off the shelf, like in computer stores and things like that. It's because I'm 99% skint, I have to resort to DIY electronics. Plus it's fun, but not always. I've gone through 3 laptops, 7 capture devices, 4 DVD recorders, 5 microphones," and he says the list goes on. OK, bit of a rant now. Why, oh why, when you go to the so-called specialist shops, as well as the likes of PC World, Comet, Currys, Maplin's and many more, why don't they know? Well, it's true, isn't it? So you go to these shops, you've got to be pretty lucky to find a member of staff that knows what they're talking about. It never used to be like that. I'm sure it wasn't like that when I was a kid. You'd go to, and it would always be an old bloke in the shop, wouldn't it? You'd go to an old bloke in the shop and you'd tell him what you want. And he would know. He would just know about everything. Why, oh why, is that not the case now? It's true, isn't it? And it goes not just for electronics, even furniture. They haven't got a clue what they've got in the shop, let alone what the stuff does. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Because they don't worry. Companies don't train their staff anymore. Although I will say, now, who was it? I was in a shop the other day, and this woman knew all about it. Oh, yeah, Boots the Chemist. I will give it a name check because I was very impressed. It was a girl, she wasn't that old, I suppose about 25, 26, and I've been having a problem with my eye recently. This one here gets very sore. It's interesting. I think it's again to do with the cat allergy. But you remember my asthma problem that gets really bad when I go to my sister's? Strangely enough, this time it wasn't bad at all. And yet for the weeks leading up to my visit to my sister's, I was having a bit of a like that all the time. When I got up there, I thought, this is going to be really bad this time because it was already there. Usually, I go for months and months and months, no asthma at all. This time, in the few weeks preceding going to visit my sister's, it started being a bit of a pain, really. I mean, it never gets so bad that I need a hospital or anything like that, fortunately. But nevertheless, it was happening. And I thought, well, if this is happening before I go up there, it's going to be worse. Well, oddly enough, it wasn't too bad at all when I went up there. But I did this time get a bit of a sore eye, this eye here, on my my left eye. And it was all red. I don't know if it's red now, actually. Is it red? I don't know. It's certainly better now, but I think I put it down to tiredness, to be honest. Once your eye's red and tired, there doesn't seem to be any getting rid of that soreness until you go to sleep. It's true, isn't it? Now, I've had this problem. I had the problem all the time I was up there and it kept watering. It was a nightmare. And I came back here. I actually stopped at the Steam Coach in Hemel Hempstead on the way back to do a karaoke night because it's on the way. So it kind of makes sense to go there, do a job and then come back. I was a little bit tired, but a great night. Absolutely great night. Oh, we did do a little video of the karaoke night at the Steam Coach that we did last week or just a couple of days ago. Now, you can find that, anyone on Facebook, okay? If you're on Facebook, one of the groups is the Steam Coach Appreciation Society. All right, once again, the Steam Coach Appreciation Society. And you can find the video that we did there. There's about 5 or 6 singers altogether that I videoed with the new flip cam. Yes, with the new flip cam. Where is it now? The new flip cam. And this, going back to this camera again, the picture quality, and not only that, unusually for this sort of thing, the sound quality is unbelievable. It really is. Highly recommended. You can't get these in the UK yet. If you want one, you've got to order it from the States, all right? My sister got it from eBay, as I say. My sister and her husband. Anyway, back to the Steam Coach karaoke. Yes, if you want to see that, go onto Facebook, look for one of the groups called the Steam Coach Appreciation Society, which is in Hemel Hempstead, and there you will see a little video that I'd done with the said flip cam a couple of days ago while I was on my way back. All right, so I was on my way back, and I had the eye problem there, and I came home, and it was still dodgy. I think that night, and I had terrible trouble sleeping that night when I came back from my sister's. Strange, isn't it? And usually I'll have a really good sleep because it's been such a long journey. This time it had been a long journey, a job at the other end, and then a little journey, and then sleep. And I had terrible trouble sleeping on Thursday night, Friday morning. So I got up in the morning, once again, Friday morning, it was still playing up. I'd only had about 4 or 5 hours sleep. Did the stuff I usually do on the Friday, came back to bed for a couple of hours, got up, still sore. Went to, that's 2 jobs I do, of course, on the Friday. Went back to the Steam Coach to give them another karaoke and disco night. Went to Brighton to work there. Haven't given it up yet. Still not sure what to do about that. It's a very tricky situation that, as I said before, this place in Brighton that I do on Fridays, I have no issues there at all. You know, sometimes you work at places and you have issues, don't you? I have none there at all. The customers are fine. The management is great. The equipment is fine. I'm left to get on with it. I walk in, play the music, and go home. Never any hassle. Been there over a year now. But it's just the tiredness. I don't finish until 5 o'clock in the morning. And you're a bit like this, and I'm really not sure what to do because I'm so grateful for anyone that ever gives me work. And I really don't like to leave places. Unless I get really annoyed, really fed up somewhere, then I don't leave. I'm very loyal to anyone that employs me. And that's the difficulty. People are telling me, you've got to think of your health. Well, is a bit of tiredness damaging you? I'm not quite sure. I know I get up very late on a Saturday. That kind of miffs me a little bit, wasting a day like that. I like to fill all my time with making something, doing something, achieving something. Loads of people say all the time, I need to relax. Well, I find that very hard to relax. I do watch a lot more television now since I got that digital video recorder. I find myself watching quite a lot more television now. But only bits and pieces. I never sit down and watch a whole programme. Funny, isn't it? Except maybe on a Wednesday night. Although not this Wednesday, because Wayne the butler, has got a day off. He's not doing butlering at the moment. I can't think what he is. Oh, he's been working on a really posh train somewhere. Silver service on a posh train. So I'll find out all about that and tell you. But I'm meeting him on, I think, Wednesday afternoon, around about 2 o'clock in London, at Fortnum and Mason's for afternoon tea. Yes! That's his birthday present from me to him, because he's just had his birthday, and I promised him weeks ago, but he hasn't been able to fit it in. So I'm taking him to Fortnum and Mason's for afternoon tea, and I will, of course, report back to you, dear friend and loyal viewer and listener, to United Kingdom Talk. Right, I shall also take the flip cam. We'll see if we can do a little film there or two. All right. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. So still had the sore eye right the way through Friday. I bought these eye drops. Now, this is what I was saying to you about someone knowing what they were talking about. I don't think I've got them here at the moment. No, I went into Boots the Chemist and I went straight to the prescription pharmacy counter. Like the chemist, but Boots the Chemist is like it's a shop that sells. If you're outside the UK, you won't know. It's a shop that sells things like all products to do with your body, toothpaste, hair, shampoo. They have electronic things, electric blood. What are they called? You know, the blood pressure things. All sorts of things to do with your body. They sell in there. Soap, deodorant. What's that stuff? Aftershave, all that. I don't wear any of that stuff. Never wear any of it. People stand up and walk a mile away when I walk past them. I stink. I absolutely stink. I don't believe in... All right, well, I do put a little bit of deodorant on now and again, but I just wonder what's in that spray. And surely it gets into your skin. You wonder where all these things come from that are bad for you, don't you? Anyway, so I've gone straight there. I said, "Oh, I'm having a bit of a problem with my eye. It's ever so sore in the morning." She said, "When is it? Is it all the time or just morning?" I said, "Well, once it starts, it keeps hanging around." She said, "What sort of soreness is it?" I said, "Well, it's itchy, and it hurts to open and close it." She's turned straight round and handed me something. She said, "There you go," and I read it's soothing eye drops. And I paid the money, I think £3, something like that. "Thank you very much." And I says to her, "Are you all trained in doing this or something?" I said, "That was ever so quick." She said, and she laughed. She said, "Yes, they teach us what to sell and what not to sell." So very impressed by that. Boots the Chemist. Of course, I'm sure a lot of the other chemists are the same. We've got one quite near where I live called Lloyd's Pharmacy, and they do all that sort of stuff as well. And whenever I've gone in there, not too well, maybe something wrong with me, they always seem to be able to help, or they refer you, of course, to the doctors. If there's something life-threatening or whatever like that, you have to go to the doctors. But I am one of those men, I'm afraid, well, I use the term loosely, I'm one of those men who doesn't like going to the doctors. I always feel that there's someone worse off than me. I mean, that nearly ended up killing me once when I had the burst appendix about 11 years ago now, something like that. Oh, yes. What a stupid idiot I was. I left it, and my stomach was getting worse. And I know there's someone worse than me. I'm not going. And in the end, the pain got so bad, I took myself down there and it was almost burst. I suppose another hour and I might not have been here. I don't know. You don't know these things, do you? Anyway, so well done for the girls in Boots for knowing exactly what I wanted there. Shall we go back to this email? How long have I gone on there? You see? We must get through the emails. Tony goes on to say, "No, now, when I worked for Seven Oaks Sound and Vision, if we didn't know the answer to a customer's question, we found out." Now, I gather they sell all these electronics, sound and televisions and plasma screens and all that business. Incidentally, my little nephew, Jimmy, he's been on the phone to me trying to sell me his little... I mean, I don't know why he didn't do it well. I think he just decided to sell it after I'd left the house. But he's been trying to sell me his little... is it a little plasma screen or a little LCD television? It's not a computer monitor, you know, it's got a Freeview thing, whatever it is, tuner built into it as well. And he's been trying to sell me that because he wants to buy a bigger one, which I think is pretty good. I think it's good that he thinks like that. He's trying to make the money, rather than ask for it, he's trying to make the money from other ways to buy this himself. And I'm very impressed with that. Because, I mean, what am I going to do with it, though? I mean, it's ridiculous just buying something and leaving it on the shelf. I don't need another television in here, really. And I said, "Oh no," I says, "I'm not really wanting that." And I thought, I wonder what he'd do with that. Next thing, he's offered it to my sister, and she's offered him £20. Okay, he says, "No, I want 25." He's a right little businessman. He's 11 years old, dear. 11 years old. I've got some more information about my little 11-year-old nephew. Something very exciting that's happened. He was over the moon. But not for this show. Oh, yes, I'm hooking you in now, aren't I? I'm hooking you in. Hooking you into the show so that you're forced to listen to the next one. Otherwise, you won't know. There's loads to tell you about my sister's house. So he offered it to her for £25. She said no. He says, "All right, then I won't have it." So that's what she said. I won't have it then. And she said, I'll give you £20. He said, I want 25. So in the end, I think she gave him the £25. But she says it's now in her kitchen and the picture's so much better than the one she had. So, I mean, swings and roundabouts. I've no idea what one he wants to buy. I'm almost tempted to buy it for... It's not the way to do it, is it? No, make him save up. Yeah, I think you've got to make children. They've got to learn. And he's on the right tracks, isn't he? Huh? Selling stuff to buy something else. Trouble is, he ends up selling stuff that isn't his. I mean, I looked in my bag when I got home and there was a few items missing from there. You know, odd things. Pair of jeans, couple of shirts. I'm sure they'll end up on eBay. Trying to make money for his TV. Back to Tony's email. He says, now all you get in shops is, have you looked on the internet? It's true, isn't it? Has that happened to you? You ever been in a shop somewhere and the shop sales assistant says, have you looked on the internet? No, I didn't look on the internet. That's why I came in here. I want the advice from you. Thick as two planks, a load of them. I don't know how they get the job. Well, I do know how they get the job. It's because companies won't pay to train them. They squeeze every last penny out. Oh, it's shocking. Shocking. The other one we get, of course, Tony says, is, have you rung our technical department? I don't want to ring a technical department in Bangladesh. Or wherever it is. Not even if it's here in the UK. I don't want to ring a technical department. That's why I came in the shop in the first place. Because I thought, foolishly, that someone just might be able to help me. Have you rung our technical department? And that's the other thing you get with parts now, don't you? There's a certain shop that I go in, usually have a look round. I don't buy much from there at all. But you say, oh, I'd like to buy a part, please. And they produce this catalogue, give you the catalogue. So there you go, if you ring them up, they'll be able to help you. So I don't want to ring someone up. I want to buy it here and now. Tony goes on to say, more money down the drain, of course, because when you ring these helplines, a lot of the time, they're premium rate phone numbers. £1.50 a minute, $3 a minute. It's wrong, isn't it? He says, sorry, mate, I must sound like I'm bitching, and as for looking on the internet, it's not much help if your computer's down. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, have you ever had a computer go wrong? You've gone into a shop... So I need problem with the... Have you looked on the internet? Well, how can you if your computer's gone wrong, you idiot? And then you spit in their face. Tony says, I'm on a Sony Vaio at the moment. So far, so good. It's the... and he gives me the model number. It's Sony Vaio is the name of the computer. Not bad other than Vista. Well, my latest laptop... which I've had quite a few... When did I buy that? End of last year? Middle of last year? Around about September, I think, wasn't it? Let me think now. No, earlier than that. Yes, it was September. I've got a Toshiba Equinum, I think Equinum. Lovely blue lights on the front. And that's got Vista on it. But to be honest, Tony, I haven't had any problems with it. Only with a piece of recording software I use called Cool Edit Pro. That's how I record things. Joy, just to let you know, recording software, it's like having a cassette deck in your computer. So you just push a couple of buttons and you can record music and sound, and indeed video, straight on the computer. This show is actually recorded, the sound and the video side of it, both are recorded directly into a computer. There's no discs. No, well, it is a hard disk in the computer, which is like a solid thing going round very quickly. There's no tapes or mini discs or CDs or anything like that, Joy. Just telling you, Joy is our friend, slightly advanced years, aren't you, my darling? She's our friend in Acton, regular listener to the show, but she just get tripped up sometimes when I start going on about technical things. So I try and explain it in laywoman's terms. Notice there, Joy, I say laywoman. By the way, I hope you're not laying there listening to me. Come on, sit up straight. What a cheek, dear. I mean, Frank Sinatra, when you went to see Frank Sinatra's concerts, he made you wear a tuxedo and tie. You'll be lucky you're all sitting there in your pyjamas and what have you. Is anyone sitting there naked listening to me? Do we have any naked listeners? Why? Tony also gives me his website, and he does a few bits and pieces on YouTube, and very good as well. He says, audio... I'll give you a website if you want to look at his stuff, OK? Audio Freak. Oh, do you want to get a pen? All right, go and get your pen. Hurry up now. While you're getting your pen, I'll give you the email address as well to the show. If you'd ever like to join in, it'd be great to hear from you. Now, the emails are taking a couple of weeks to come up at the moment because I'm a little bit backlogged. But they will, I promise, they always do come up eventually. The email address to the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, Tony's website is audiofreak.blogspot.com. Now, I'm going to spell that to you because it's a slightly different spelling to what you would expect. Audio Freak, AUDIOFREEQ .blogspot, BLOGSPOT.com. All right? Audio Freak, AUDIOFREEQ .blogspot.com. That's Tony's blog space. And he says, as you know, I'm on the YouTube because I'm adding comments to your videos from time to time. Yeah, thank you very much for those. Always feel free to put a comment on the YouTube or indeed the internet on the main United Kingdom Talk website, which you can find at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. He says, and thanks for the shouts on your show. It's a pleasure, sir. It's surprising the hell out of me when you mentioned my email. Now I know Joy doesn't like you going off on one regarding electronics and technology. But, and you don't have to say on the show, but I do have a scanner. It's all right, Joy, don't worry. Oh, God, Joy, don't go. Da, 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 da. Oh, don't go! Ah! Blah, blah, blah. Ah! Sorry, it's going again. It's going again. It's all right, I'm back with you. I left my body for a moment then. I just had an out-of-body experience. For a moment, I popped down to the kitchen, had a cup of tea, some beans on toast, some tomato soup, a cream apple donut, and came back up the stairs again. Did you notice me gone? No, of course you didn't, because it was an out-of-body experience. It was my spirit that left and had all those things. I'm feeling quite full now, to be honest. Back to the email. He says, I too have a scanner. Now, a scanner, Joy, is to listen. It's like a radio receiver, and it listens to much more than you or I can get on our radios. He can listen to police and aeroplanes and all that business. For the technical amongst you, AM, FM, USB, LSB, NFM, NAM, with various frequency steps. It's all too much for me, dear Tony. God almighty, what does all this mean? All these letters and abbreviations, dear? This is CR on UKT. I'll start abbreviating if you want me to abbreviate, dear. He says, in its day, he paid for this little scanner thing £550. And it's only a handheld made by Yupitiru. Oh, they've got to be Japanese, aren't they? They're good at that stuff, aren't they? But it's been great fun. He goes on to say, as for installing coax feeder, now coax feeder, that's a long wire, Joy. A long wire from the aerial to the little radio unit that he's talking about. You see, I tell you, darling, I'll explain it. Joy, I think Joy might be able to work soon on a technical helpline. Hello, technical helpline, can I help you? You'd be good at that, Joy. Eh? Because, you know, I worked in a call centre. Well, we didn't call them call centres then. It was directory inquiries. London directory. Yeah, I used to put on... I told you before in the shows many times, I used to put on all these different voices. London directory. London directory. And accents. London directory, can I help you, caller? London directory. London directory. London directory. I loved it. Boring job in the world, that. Oh dear, directory inquiries. Anyway, back to this. As for installing the coax feeder, that's a bit of wire. Why doesn't he say bit of wire? You see, Tony, you're just trying to confuse poor Joy, aren't you? That's what it is, dear. It's a liberty, that's what it is. He says, I've lost the count of the number of antennas, that's aerials. Aerials, Joy. I have alone erected. I love that word, don't you? Erected. Not including the help I've given others since starting on CB in 1978. I think we're of similar age. Yes. Do you know what, Tony? I'm starting to wonder now. I wonder if I ever spoke to you on CB. And I'll tell you why. Because Putney, I easily hit the Putney area with my CB radio. I was on illegally back in the early 80s. I was illegally on AM. Shock horror. At this moment, police cars are rushing here to arrest me for being on CB radio 30 years ago, dear. I can hear them coming. Oh, they've gone past. It's all right. I was on AM. I was also on FM. I was in Roehampton. And my handle was Matchbox. What was yours, I wonder? And there were some other people that I used to speak to all over the internet. There was Bullet. His name was Bob. And there was his lovely wife and his son. What was his wife's name? Bullet. Don't remember. And there was another guy who was in Roehampton called Master Blaster. Lovely bloke. I can't believe I've lost contact with these people. Do you know, I wonder if they're still on CB in Roehampton. I did, for a very, very short period of time, have a CB set up here where I live in Bracknell, Royal Berkshire, but didn't really get... I just listened, really. I didn't really go on it at all. But my name on the CB was Matchbox. I wonder what yours was, Tony. Please let me know. He says, during the 70s, I lived in Putney and went to Hotham Primary School, which I know of. Not that I expect our paths have ever crossed. Still, there's plenty of time. I'm usually installing home cinema for people all over the place in my spare time. I mean, they've got some lovely equipment now, haven't they? All this home cinema stuff and all that. Blu-ray. Have you seen the price of the Blu-ray films, though? My God, they're like 40 quid a film. You see, I just wouldn't pay it. I just wouldn't pay it. And all these home cinema things, I mean, it's all very well, but I'm not one to be sitting in front of the television all the time. Besides, it's something else that someone's going to break into your house for, isn't it? Mind you, must be pretty hard to steal a 50-inch television or something like that. I mean, my telly is about 10 years old now. I've got a lovely Sony widescreen television downstairs, the normal size ones, great big thing. I mean, you'd have a job running down the road with something like that, I suppose, wouldn't you? Yeah. Oh, well. I did write back to Tony, telling him, of course, that I lived in Roehampton, which is just down the road from Putney. And it does appear that Tony and I have gone to a couple of places very similar, for example, or the same. I did go swimming in Putney swimming paths, and Tony writes, Chris, I learnt to swim at Putney in the little pool. Yes, there's 2 pools there. I never found that little pool or the big pool particularly warm, did you? And it had not all swimming pools, they all smell a bit, but the Putney pool in particular really had a strong smell of chlorine, especially in the upstairs bit where all the crisp machines were. Do you remember the crisp machines up there, Tony? They had like a rubber floor with little dots in it. I always remember this. And there were crisp machines all down the back wall opposite where you paid to go in. So you paid to go in, and opposite was a few tables and chairs, so that afterwards You could sit there and have a cup of tea and it's all coming back to me. I've forgotten completely about this. You could have a cup of tea and a bag of crisps or something. And I always used to lose money in those blooming crisp machines. Did you? They were always going wrong. I used to go... I think I used to go occasionally on a Sunday morning. I can't remember how much it was now. It wasn't particularly expensive. Anyway, he learnt to swim at Putney in the little pool. We're talking 6 or 7 years old now, so that would make it 1972 to 1973. Okay, he says 1966. Well, you're actually 3 years younger than me. I was born 1963, Tony. He says, okay, you can laugh. He said, stop lying about my age. What's the point? What is the point? You get found out in the end anyway, didn't you? 1963 I was born, Tony. He said, OK, you can still laugh, but I still look good. Who's telling you that, then? What do you mean you still look good, dear? Do you? I never told you that. Who told you that? Are you telling yourself that? And so you should tell you. If you think you look good, yes, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do, Tone, all right? He says, just look on YouTube or Blogger. Anyway, from Hotham, I went to Wandsworth Boys' School, age 11, in 1977. Yes, that was one of the options given to me, Wandsworth School. That was known as a rough school, though, that was, Wandsworth School, wasn't it? Just down, is it Sutherland Grove? Just down Sutherland Grove in Southfields. I know the school well. We used to hold some of our scout gang shows there that we used to stage. I don't know if you... That would have been the time you was at the school, actually. Yes. I'm sure it would have been. Or was it the early 70s? Wandsworth School. I always remember doing gang shows there. We would use the hall, the big stage there with the curtains and what have you. The show would be on there, and we would use some of your classrooms as dressing rooms. As you went through the school, if you were facing the stage, right, to the left of the stage was some stairs. You go up the stairs, go straight through past the stage, out the other side, cross like a paved area, into another block of classrooms, and we used to use the classrooms up the stairs as changing rooms. Did you know all this, Tony, I wonder? Anyway, back to this. And he went to Wandsworth Boys' School, aged 11, 1977, until the breakup of my parents. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Won't go into that. But as for Putney, I used to live in Carlton Drive. West Posh, isn't it? Carlton Drive. No, that would be... You'd be near the Elliott School, wouldn't you? Carlton Drive? Carlton Drive. Is that the road with the bends in it? There's like it's a really strange shaped road. It's like very bendy. Is that the one? He said just off the Upper Richmond Road, the East Putney end. Oh no, that's not Carlton Drive, is it? I'm thinking down the other end actually. Near the old post office. He said, I knew Millets where you worked. Yes, I worked in Millets. That was a camping shop. In the High Street, very well back then, and well, Wimbledon Common was just my playground and had a couple of mates from the big estates in Roehampton. I was on the Alton estate, incidentally. Hersham Close I lived. We used to hang around Putney Heath, Wandsworth, Battersea, but mainly on the Common around Kingsmere Pond. Now, where's that? Kingsmere Pond. There's only one pond I can think of on Wimbledon Common, and I didn't know it was called I never knew it was called Kingsmere Pond. Is it the one where there's a little stream next to it running into it? I can't think now. He said, and I remember your school, that'd be the London Oratory School where I used to go to in Fulham. We used to play you at cricket. Oh, not me, I hate the game. I don't understand it. I can't work. What's going on in cricket? Please someone tell me. 30 runs for 5 overs and all that. What does that mean? I mean, I don't like football, but at least you can understand who's blooming winning, dear. How does that work, cricket? He says, anyway, chat soon. Nice to chat to a local lad. Thank you very much, Tony. Now, I have got another email from you here as well. but I'm going to leave that for another show to get some more of the other people in, all right? Because we have got an awful lot of emails. I'm going to have to hold these emails over for another couple of shows even, I think. It's dreadful. I hate doing that. Yeah, it's great to know, Tony, that someone has come from the same place as, near enough the same place and time as me. It's fantastic to talk about things in the past, isn't it? We love it. Hello to Carl in Yorkshire, who's talking more about the Birdsong radio station that I told you about we have in London temporarily at the moment. He says the Birdsong channel isn't actually the first channel to do that. Or the channel, I beg your pardon, I'll rephrase that. The channel that's, by the way, Joy in Acton again. Did you listen? Did you manage to find Birdsong Radio on your receipt on your DAB, dear? Did you find it? Ever so relaxing, lovely. He said, Carl says the channel that was playing the Birdsong isn't actually the first one to do that. Classic FM, which is a station, popular classical station here in the UK, it's a national station, did the same thing during its own test transmissions before it went live. Just thought you might like to know. Yes, I do like to know. Thank you, Carl. Any little bits and pieces like that anyone thinks, oh, that might sound interesting, and then you say to yourself, oh no, he wouldn't be interested in that. I am. If you get any little snippets of that anywhere, wherever you are in the world, anything that you think might be of interest to anyone else who's watching, even if it's one person who it might be interested to, it's worth sending it in. Please send it in on the usual email, okay? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, we did get an apology from Ross P. You remember Ross P? Yes. He's the one that aborted me for his new girlfriend. Yes. No time to listen to his old mate Chris anymore on the radio. Oh, no. I thought we were friends, Ross. I know we're never going to be close friends, but I thought, perhaps we were. We were close friends, Ross. Ross is in Norwich. Now, I've never actually met him in person, but he has for years and years been a loyal listener to the programme until he got his girlfriend. And then it's all over her. I've been rejected by Ross over his new girlfriend. Well, I say no, he's been with her for quite a few months now. I think they're going to get married at some point. I'm still waiting for the opportunity to do your wedding party as your DJ. Come on. You must want some old puff turning up and playing your records. Hey? Is that a good idea? Just a suggestion. I will, of course, give you the United Kingdom Talk discount for anything that you may wish for, okay? The United Kingdom Talk discount. Special discount for listeners. There we are. Now, Ross did send in a little apologetic video, which, to be honest, Ross, I found very sad indeed. He was there he was begging. Ladies and gentlemen, he was begging for mercy because he heard me mention this in another show. He was begging for mercy, begging practically on his knees. And I never thought I'd see Ross on his knees. Not in front of me anyway. But he was on his knees begging for mercy. Stop it. The fact that he hadn't been listening. But you know what, Ross? I'm a Roman Catholic. And I will accept your apologies because Jesus tells us to forgive all. And I forgive you. I forgive you for not listening. I know it may happen again. You may be ready sitting there to listen or indeed watch one of my many, many little morsels, my little morsels of chat and entertainment. You may be there ready and you're about to push the button and she says, are we going to go shopping? Then I suppose you go shopping. But that's okay. I don't mind being second best. But if I am to be second best, you have to do something in return for me, Ross. You will name your first child after me. That's all I ask. Is it too much to ask? You will name your first child after me. Yes, lovey. That will be your pet. Because, once again, turning to my Catholicism, right? When we commit sins, we have to pay a penance. And your penance is to name your first child after me. Yes, there we are. So thank you very much for the little video, Ross, which I intended to play out the audio to it, but I can't find it again. So I'm sorry about that. I'm really sorry, but I've looked and looked and looked, but I cannot find that video again. You sent it on the Facebook, didn't you? So I don't know if you've still got it there or whether it was one of those instant things. Do send it again, OK? Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, a new listener. A couple of new listeners this week. Let me see. Listeners or viewers? Yes, listener. This one is a listener. Oh, we need a... Have we got a fanfare? Have we got a fanfare for a listener? A new listener. Let me have a quick look. Oh, I know, we'll have one of these.
Across the UK and across the world. From the Mirrorball studio in Royal Berkshire, this is Chris Reardon.
And welcome along. Now, he did send this email 2 weeks ago. So once again, apologies that the emails have taken so long to come up, but I have been away for a couple of weeks. I haven't forgotten you. They're here, look. They're here. I wouldn't forget you. You know that. You know that, lovey. Come here. Is that better? There we are. Kiss it, Mum always said that, didn't she? Did your mum ever say that to you? Come on, kiss it, make it all better. She'd kiss it. Oh, lovely. I mean, my sister doesn't have the same effect, I'm afraid. No, she says, "Oh, come here, brother." She kisses me, right? And honestly, it's like acid burning into your face. It really is, because of the vileness that comes out of her mouth all the time. It is. It's like acid coming out of her mouth, biting into my flesh. That's probably what's wrong with my eye. I'm sure when I went up to see her couple of days ago, when she opened the door, she says hello, and a bit of spit came out of her mouth into my eye, and it was melting. I'm melting, and it like on what's that thing? The Wizard of Oz. I'm melting, and she spins around, doesn't she? I'm melting. Ah, I'm melting. I'm melting. I'm melting. Ah. Sorry, I'm losing the plot again. I'm getting quite carried away. You see, it's because I haven't spoken to you for a whole 2 weeks, near enough. Well, I know I've been there, but I don't lie to you. I cannot lie, my dears. I cannot lie. The last few programmes were recorded a week ahead. All right, that's why. I cannot lie. And this is from Gary. Hello, Gary, who is in Madison, Ohio. Now, who says, "Hi Chris, I love your show and have been listening to you for several months. I've also been enjoying your past shows in your archive and will be sending them to my mum in Pennsylvania. She came from Manchester in 1952 when she married my dad, so I have British blood coursing through my body. Coursing, not cursing. Well, I don't know, actually. Cursing or coursing, one of the two. Coursing through my body. My cousins, aunt and uncles all still live in the UK, and I hope to travel there with my wife next year." Whereabouts are they in the UK? Are they in Manchester as well? Gary, do let us know. Now, I just want to find your email on the computer because it's got some sound on it that I'm going to play for you. Because Gary is a member... Oh, hang on. Where's that gone then? Oh no, it's all right. Oh, thank Lord for that. I thought I'd lost that. People are so kind to send things in. I hate losing them. There we are, got it. I've been saving this one. He says, I thought you'd... Let me see, my cousins are... I thought you'd enjoy one of the songs I recorded for a singing group I'm part of called the Madison Chorale. 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 Chorale, isn't it? Yeah. That's like chorus. There are about 20 singers, and this is one of our new songs for our May concert. We had only practiced this 4 or 5 times, so it isn't concert quality, but fine for sharing. I think you'll recognise the song too. Cheers. And that's from Gary. As I say, Gary in Madison, Ohio. All right, so we're going to play this for you. It's not very long. Lovely little piece of music as sent by Gary. I'm going to put my headphones on so I can hear it as well. Where's my headphones? There we are. No point in playing something I can't hear it myself, is there? Here we go then. Gary and his choral society. What's the name of the group again? The Madison Chorale. Just coming up now. 1 second. Sorry, it's just finding it. Taking a little bit of time there. How are we doing on time? Oh my God, just less than 10 minutes to go now. Here we are. Come on, play for me. Play for me. Play. It's not going to play, is it? Why isn't this playing? Oh. How inconvenient. Is it happening? Here we go. Here we go. Hey, that was nice, wasn't it? That was lovely. Thank you very much, Gary, for sending that in there. There's Gary and, of course, the Madison Chorale singing for you there. A little piece they did. I would certainly recognise the tune, the British Grenadiers. Now, what was that tune used for? I'm sure it was... Was that the old BBC World Service tune? I can't think now. Anyway, thanks for that. Nice to have a little bit of music there and what have you. Thank you, Gary. Lovely for the email and welcome to the show, sir. Okay. A couple of quickies here from Wayne. Waynie. Hello, Waynie. Waynie is a DJ here in the UK. I was talking about what clothes you prefer me to wear. And he says, hi, Chris. I think you look better in a nice Lonsdale top. That's from Waynie. Thank you very much, sir. Waynie. Hello to Bruce. Hello, Bruce, my friend in Florida, Bruce and Gloria. He's talking about one of the old shows. We had a little bit of a problem with the audio for one of the shows. I think the 15th of April. For some reason, only the first 6 minutes of it were playable when I released when the show started. When I put the show up for download, but so we re-uploaded it and it worked after that. But thank you very much to Bruce and also who was the other one? Ian, young Ian as well, who kindly he actually downloaded the video to the show and resampled that for me and was going to upload that, but I got there first. So thank you very much for Scott for informing me of that. Sometimes I miss faults. Okay, so I always appreciate if someone emails me, hello, this isn't quite right, or that's not quite right, or you might want to correct me on something I said. Then please feel free to do so. Usually email address chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, I am running right out of time here. I've got a couple of emails I'm going to save for the next show. Susan, who's got the most amazing pictures that she sent me of her cats. Haven't you? Fantastic cats. There's Doug, who sent in a load of emails as well. Which I have here, Doug. Don't worry, they haven't been lost or anything like that. I'm going to have to carry these over, okay, to the next show or two. And Anna. Anna is a new listener who's in Argentina, our second listener in Argentina, I think, or viewer. She says, hello, I'm at work listening to your radio. Thanks, it helps me to improve my English. And she was saying, sorry to bother you, but I think your programme is not live. Yeah, you're right, it's not live. We record this usually a little bit ahead. Sometimes if I'm going on holiday, I record it further ahead, okay? And I said, well, we've got 3 shows a week. Will you be able to keep up? She said, of course I'll be able to keep up. I'm a fit person. Is that okay to say that way? A fit woman? A woman who keeps fit? Yes, of course it is. Yeah, a fit woman is actually someone who's fit is now considered someone who's good looking. That recently kind of changed the language. So if you say to someone, cool, she's fit, that means she's very good looking. All right? So she's listening to the programme. Welcome along, Anna. That's nearly time to go today, except for one thing. You may have noticed at the beginning and the end of the show this week, certainly on the videos, that this programme is dedicated to the memory of Betty. Betty. I received this email. We've had a few emails going to and from Suko with myself, Wayne and Judy and, of course, James Dean. And sadly, Suko's mum has recently died. So sometimes when we have one of our close family of people listening, or one of our close listeners, member of the family, that we do like to dedicate a show to them. And this is dedicated to Suko's mum, Betty. Just remember, Suko, your mum was in a lot of pain. Thanks for watching and listening. I'll see you on the next show. From myself, Chris Reardon. Bye-bye.